Good morning, at least in Central Time. It might be afternoon on Eastern Time. I am now in Central Time since I am in a Chicago suburb. Oh, there's the sign I was looking for. I am at the Morton Grove Metra station. I'll have to take another selfie because I couldn't find that sign earlier. I was looking on the building and it's on the roof. Anyway, I am here about 15-20 minutes early because as I was getting ready to walk, what GPS said would be a 15-minute walk, the host at the Airbnb said, "Oh, would you like a ride?" I said, "Absolutely." The only challenge with riding is I wasn't able to stop. I don't even know if there was anywhere I could stop. I didn't see anything along the way, but I wanted to pick up another bottle of Diet Mountain Dew. So once I get into Chicago, Metra is the local commuter train. You can see the dual tracks here. And Amtrak just went that way, so leaving the city. I think this is the side you catch to get in. That's the problem when you're taking the train. You never know exactly what track it's going to come on or what side of the station you need to be on. And of course there are no staff members here. Oops, sorry, you can see this station is built right in a residential area. In fact, the host at the Airbnb said she had a sister that lived in this building, but on the other side, but she still put soundproof glass on her balcony. I keep getting into the shade, my apologies. Yesterday, obviously this is going to be a continuation of the first train trip video because I really didn't get a lot of footage and I didn't take the time to splice some last night. Yesterday I got into Chicago at, when did I get here? 10 a.m. I think? Yeah, I think about, oh, it was early, 9:30. We were about 30 minutes early. No, I'm sorry. It was supposed to be 30 minutes early. And then we actually got in about 5 minutes early. So I went and I checked my luggage. The bigger. Oops, sorry, I just blocked the camera. I need my stick. Maybe I should get it out of my bag before I check it. Let me do that. Hold on. Oh, that's a whole lot better now that I can hold it here. Still have the microphone here. Not getting my arm tired, but let's see, where were we? Oh, I'm getting into Chicago. About 10 a.m. yesterday morning after a 22-hour, maybe it was 23. Yeah, I left at 11:15 from the DC area the day before and got in Chicago 10 a.m. So actually you got to add an hour because you lost an hour in the time zone change. So it was probably closer to 24 hours, which was what I was expecting. The ride was nice, but not necessarily comfortable. I'll tell you a little bit more about it at the next stop because there were some interesting people that ended up sitting behind me. Everyone that sat behind me was interesting and generally annoying in some form or fashion. I don't want this to go too long because now that I'm here, I don't want to miss the train. And more people are coming to meet it. Anyway, I went to Planet Fitness and then LA Fitness, and then I got a Italian beef sandwich at Pordello's, anyway, a famous place here in Chicago. Got a double or a big beef, just ate the beef. Then last night I went and I got a scrumptious deep dish pizza with a caramelized crust. It still looked like it was in the pan. You can see those photos on my Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to wrap this up for now. I will hopefully do more video today because we aren't 2 hours behind schedule, I hope. They didn't let us get off at all, well, until we got to, where was it we could first get off? Somewhere in West Virginia. So it was a long way, and that was a crew change, so they had to let us get off because it was like a 10-minute stop. But all the rest were whistle stops. And then we had 2 fresh air breaks in Cincinnati and Indianapolis, but that was the middle of the night, so I was sleeping then. Anyway, I'll try to do better today and get this spliced once I get to Denver. Talk to you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye. This is our first stop. Took me a minute to get the lavalier reattached. Oops, and I'm facing the wrong direction. intersection here. You can see I put a mask on. Not because I have anything, but somebody in the back of the car is hacking and coughing. That was what I hadn't mentioned earlier with some of the interesting people behind me. The lady on the phone that wouldn't stop talking on the phone. Fortunately, she got off in Charleston, West Virginia. But then in Cincinnati, two young men got behind me. They were both coughing and sneezing, so a young man I had been talking to from Cincinnati got up, so I moved across the aisle and got his seat, and darned if the guy coughing didn't go get 2 seats in front of me. Of course, on a train, I think I'd rather be next to the beautiful golf course, I think over there. Oh, there's a creek or a river. I would much rather somebody coughing be in front of me. Then they got off at Indianapolis, and somebody else got on to go to Chicago, and darned if they weren't coughing and hacking behind me. So I took my jacket, wrapped it around my head. Sorry, I'm adjusting the holder here. Yeah, that works. And I put it over my head, kind of put my head in the face of the sleeve and put the mask on under my jacket because I haven't gotten the virus yet, and I'm trying not to get it. So hopefully you can still hear me through this mess. That's enough of this little commuter train, I think. You can tell I'm a good ways out from Chicago. I'll get a little more when we get in closer. I have now made it to Healy Metro Station. I've started to get views of the skyline of the city of Chicago. I believe that this particular train started in Milwaukee. Maybe if I come back and I need to get there, I'll ride it all the way up there. It's an hour from Morton Grove to downtown. Probably 2 hours to Milwaukee. I'm not real sure. I'll get you a skyline view very shortly.
I just got yours, right?
Well, I stand corrected. This train does not go to Milwaukee, but an Amtrak does. It's just the Milwaukee district for what it's named for. And you really can't see the skyline from here, but you can see the row houses, so we are getting closer to the city. There's the Sears Tower, I believe, if you saw it in that show, but you can see a little bit of the skyline in the distance. I just realized I can't just see with that emergency exit sign, so I can get to the show. I should have picked one behind me. Every trip a mile, every means of transportation, you can always take a little bit more. The videoing after coming with all this luggage.
Your safety is our highest priority. You can help us by being observant of your surroundings. Please report any suspicious behavior or items to your train crew. If you see something, say something. Together we can make us all more secure.
I think I was saying with each new trip I learn a little bit more with all this carry-on luggage and carry seats. Doctor just commented on my little passport holder from Aruba. He said he liked the route too. I'll try not to get too much of the sun, and I'll wait a little while if I get a better view of the skyline. I don't think you can see it too well. Oh, there it is, a little bit. Over here. There we go. I think that's the best I'm going to do, so I'll talk to you before too long. Oh, there's more to it. It's like the second level of high rises. I did Google Chicago last night. It's the third largest city in the United States. Behind LA, which is also behind New York. This apparently is a yard for the Metra vehicles. What do they call this? Carriage? There's a word they use for the equipment that train runs, but it has slipped my mind at the moment. As you can see, Metra is a pretty large company. All this equipment stored, and so much is on the rails. Now there's a whole other
Now approaching Western Avenue.
Quiet car during rush hour, so I probably wouldn't be able to make this video. That's arriving to the city at or before 9 a.m. and leaving the city or downtown between 3:30 and 6:30 p.m. They discourage conversations and even cell phone use is not allowed. They just announced the next stop is Chicago Union Station, so this will be the last footage you get from the Metra train. Next may be sightseeing in Chicago, but I'll go ahead and wrap up my microphone. Stop this video here. Hope you enjoyed the cityscape on the Amtrak. It's going to be mostly trees and fields. From here to Denver, I'm not sure there's any real pretty sights.
Please take a few
One last
moments
shot
to
of the
familiarize
city.
yourself with the location of the emergency.
Okay, we are about an hour and a half, I guess, west, maybe southwest of Chicago. I have relocated to the observation car. As you can see, it's a big, wide open car with lots of seats that you can look out. Big, a dome car is what some people would call it. Best I can tell, we're at somewhere named Mendota, Illinois. And I just finished a Angus cheeseburger out of the cafe car. The hamburger part of it anyway, the meat. I didn't eat the bun. But this is just Illinois cornfields. We're just rambling through. It's very flat. Of course, the scenery has changed greatly from the Northern Virginia area where it was a lot of trees. I have, if you're following me on Facebook, you'll see there's a baby, an infant, across the aisle from me at my seat, and there's a gentleman beside me that's worn out. He said he partied a little too much last night, so he's basically asleep. There's another gentleman up in front of the toddler, or the infant. I guess it's an infant, not really a toddler. Screams a lot. Who has to tell everybody in the train about his whole life story, ex-wives, and everything else. So I'm finding this view car, what do you call it, observation car, very much nicer. I brought all my stuff up here because I had the holder for the camera in the pocket of my jacket. I have snacks in the gym bag. I have books in the backpack, and of course I have my computers in the computer bag. I'm not finding any Wi-Fi on this train, but I do have some hotspot data I can use. Anyway, we are like an hour and a half into this approximately 18-hour trip, I think. I'll have to add it up. It's from 2 p.m. Central Standard Time till 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so we might as well say 8 o'clock Central Standard. So that's a 6-hour difference, so 18-hour train ride, if all goes according to plan. And I think this one is generally more on time than most of them are. Oh, there's a little mound over there. Wouldn't call it a mountain, probably gravel or something. You can see it in the distance. That's probably a long enough clip for right now. I'm going to get back to my book and videos, or listening to videos. Thanks, have a great day. I'm going to call this my golden hour check-in, as it's getting to be about 5 o'clock Central Time. You can see there's some kind of cloud coverage, but we have not run into snow yet. I expect it to be a high of 30 tomorrow when I get into Denver, and snowing. It looks like I can take a light rail or subway or something from the train station to a bus stop. Probably have to walk 2 or 3 minutes from the train or light rail or whatever it is to the bus stop, and then take a bus 30 some stops to the subdivision I'll be house sitting in, and then walk about half a mile to the house. So hopefully it's not snowing too hard, but the jacket I have with me I brought before Denver, so it is cold weather equipped, and I do have gloves with me. And I have packaged everything pretty much to where I'll have my hands full with 3 or 4, I guess 4 bags that I'll eventually have. One is a backpack, and the computer bag can go over my shoulder. So then I'll just have the 2 suitcases to pull. If it's real bad, I'll call an Uber, a Lyft, or the homeowner and see if they can pick me up. The friend I have in Denver is going to be, she said, far south of Denver that day. Oh, look at all the birdies. I think they're seagulls or white egrets or something, but all in the middle of the cornfield there. And another barn and silo. I believe I'm still in Illinois, but I don't remember the name of the last stop. I think it was a fresh air break, but I chose not to get off because I've gotten rather comfortable here in this observation car. I guess it could be considered that I'm being rude by taking up 3 little seats here together, but I found that I can kind of stretch out and be very comfortable. I just went back to the seat and got the last item that was in my assigned seat, my neck pillow. So I'm going to try, as the sun goes down and gets darker here, I'm going to keep reading until I fall asleep. But at least there are a lot of YouTubes that just play piano music, so I can put my earphones in, listen to them as I read, and watch whatever scenery is going by, and be quite comfortable. I don't know that I'll spend the night here in the observation car, but I may spend a portion of it, because I've heard this is the best place to sleep on these trains. The first train I was on did not have one, so this is my first experience with an observation car, and the staff here seems fairly laid back. There's been a man with his speakerphone on playing jazz in the front part of the car the whole time, and they have not made an announcement that you have to be on earphones unless we're passing another train. That's one of the, it's either passing us or I think it's parked. It's going so fast I can't even tell what it is, so it may be moving at the same time. Usually I can read the side of the cars, or at least the BNSF on the engines when we get to that part. So I'll pause it until we get by. I think it was moving because I saw the BNSF engine at the end, only one. But anyway, I'm just going to sign off for now because this is kind of my signing off for the day. Again, I say it's like about 5 o'clock. On Monday, the 21st of February, 2023, I am rolling through Illinois, somewhere in the western part. Unless we've gotten into the next state, which I guess is Nebraska. Since the Amish people told me they were getting off at Omaha, I guess Nebraska attaches to Illinois. I'd have to look it up, but we're going to Nebraska at some point, which I don't even know if it's halfway to where I'm going. This car is much more comfortable than the big recliner seats in Coach, and this is actually still part of Coach. The people in the rooms have a dining car that's right in front of this. Us lower class Coach people aren't supposed to be in there, and we're definitely not invited to dinner there. So I have my beef sticks from Aldi. I have one package left. I thought I should have 2, but I haven't been able to put my hand on the second one. And I have plenty of diet sodas. And I'm just going to rock back. I guess you can't rock back in these chairs, but I'm going to lean back, get comfortable, read the book, and hope that I fall asleep. We'll talk to you probably from Denver. Have a great day. I happened to glance at my GPS and saw we were about at the border and we'll be crossing the Mississippi River. So of course I had to get the video back out and do a clip of us going across the Mississippi. I don't think I've ever crossed it this far north. Oh, but it's still a big one. Yeah, I don't see a barge, but I did it in Mississippi. Where was I? But yep, this is the mighty Mississippi, divides the U.S. east to west. So I'm officially entering the western portion of the country at this point. And I think I've seen this part on the YouTube before. I think we turn left and go down along that bank over there. So I might be on the Mississippi for quite some time. Looks like it forks down there, and I don't know, there's 2 branches, or maybe just a pond, or not a pond, but maybe just a bay. There are some nice houses up on the bank over there. I don't know if you can see them. So glad we got here before dark and I could film one final segment before putting it away for the night. I believe once we cross this bridge we will be in Iowa. More cornfields, I'm sure. I do see a train track along the bank there. We'll see if we turn and go down that way. If we were, maybe I could, nope, I think that's a road.
All right, folks, once again, this is Burlington. This is Burlington coming up at Burlington Station Stop. You can make your way downstairs with the train.
Oh wow, look at that big suspension bridge over there. Burlington, Iowa or Indiana, I don't know. I'll know in just a moment. Yep, there's the track that goes along the river. So there is a track there, we just don't turn down it. I wasn't losing my mind. And there's the bridge we just crossed. It looks like it can be raised and lowered for boat traffic. And then the road bridge up there is built higher. And here's a water treatment plant. Yeah, you see all the good stuff as you go down on a train track. Okay, there's a better, well, now we're getting behind the plant here. Northwestern Pacific locomotive there. Okay, the bridge is coming up. Let me see if I can zoom in. How about that? I can. I'm trying not to get other people too much because a lot of people don't want to be in a video. So I'll show some of this town. There's a Dairy Queen. I wish it was closer to the track. I did eat a cheeseburger from down below at the cafe car.
All right.
I'm sure I could get two at Dairy Queen for the same price. There's a tire store, auto parts, something. Oh, look at the houses up on the hill. Okay, the man behind me is saying Burlington, Iowa, and that's what I was thinking. We were going into Iowa. And they already got the lights on blink. I guess it's dark and it's time to turn the stoplights on to blink. Unless that one's always on blink. Since it looks like it's coming up from the railroad and maybe just doesn't want to stop traffic too much. I'll spin around and give you some of the rail yard. Burlington Northern. Okay, that must be related to Burlington, Iowa. I never knew that. And it may not be, but it kind of, oh, we're getting right up to that bridge. That suspension, well, I don't know if it's a suspension bridge, but it's got all those wires off of it, so you would think it's a suspension bridge over the mighty Mississippi. I'll have to look that up on the internet. Between Burlington, Iowa and somewhere in Illinois. This depot looks like it's seen its better days. This is the top of the cover, and that's the rail down there, and then the side of the train. I'm sure this is basically just a whistle stop. I still haven't seen a sign that tells me where I am. Maybe I should pull out. Look at those old, oh, there's the sign. Yeah, Burlington, Iowa. Look at those old buggies over there. And here's an old train and coal car. Burlington route is what it says in red there, and there's the water tower to fill up the steam engine. Sorry, I think my microphone fell down, but here's just a little bit right before sundown. I'll get the last of this in here. We didn't even have to stop any cars. Oh, there's a few on that side of the road. So that's your preview of Burlington, Iowa. I've got some research to do when I get internet back. Of course, I have it on the phone, but not on the computer. The train internet doesn't really seem to be working again. Signing off and going back to my book. Greetings. It's 11 p.m. on Monday night, February 21st. I didn't think I'd be checking in again until Denver tomorrow morning, and I probably won't be standing outside then because it's supposed to snow and be a high of 18. So this is a smoke break, i.e. fresh air break in Omaha, Nebraska. It's the last stop where you can get off before we get to Denver. You can see this is a 2-story car I'm on, and the train is really long, and I am in the second to the last car. There's sleeper cars up that way. Okay, this is the coach car, and this is the cafe car. I think I did a little bit of a clip from there earlier. Then in front of that is the dining car, and then I guess there's 2 or 3 sleeper cars. I'm not going to walk all the way to the front because they don't want us out here too terribly long. But this is the Tribune, Omaha News or something. I think that's what she said. It might just be the Omaha station. But anyway, we're in Omaha, Nebraska. It is about 30 degrees, I think, out here. People are coming out to smoke, and they got some that need to load up. Signing off. I'll see y'all tomorrow in Denver. I guess I could put in a little bit more of an update. I heard from my host in Denver. I had a friend that I thought might be able to pick me up, but she's going to be working south, way south of Denver tomorrow, so she can't. But the host said if I take the light rail to the Westin Hotel at the airport and wait inside there and text them, they would come pick me up. Because like I say, it's supposed to be a high of 18 tomorrow, and there is a winter storm warning in effect until 8 a.m. and we're scheduled to arrive at 7:15, and at the moment we're still on time, and that's only 8 hours away. Maybe 9 because we lose an hour. I'm having trouble keeping all that. I'm just not thinking it through, but it looks like it's time to get back on. So sing it. This is a better view of Colorado. We passed into Colorado from Nebraska when I was sleeping. We are pulling into the BNSF yard at this point so we can execute what's called a backing maneuver into Denver Union Station. This is the first time I've actually been able to see the front of the train. Looks like there's 2 engines, 1 or 2, let me get around it. 2 engines, a generator car, 2 sleeper cars, the dining car, then this observation car, then the 2 coach cars. I don't know if this is where we'll begin backing or we have to go a little further. I just saw a whole lot of BNSF equipment as I was getting the camera started. You can see there is snow on the ground, and it is technically, I think, still snowing here in Denver. We've got a red light up there. I guess it means it's time to stop. Here's some Army equipment on a train behind us here. Oh, and then some townhouses or apartments or something down there. As I was getting set up, what I would consider a subway, maybe a light rail just went across this bridge here. That's what I'm going to be taking to the airport. Okay, here comes that light rail or subway type vehicle. That looks like the red line, and I either am going to take the red or the A, I think. We have started the backing up process. They say this could take 30 minutes. There's some kind of in Texas this would be a river, in Virginia would be a creek, so I'm not sure exactly what it is here, but there is a walking bridge across it, and then the light rail and a road. Yeah, this much snow in Texas would be fatal, but here they're actually cleaning the sidewalks. I'm grateful that my host family is going to be picking me up. There's some of the BNSF locomotives. Greetings. I am at the Union Station in Denver. Yeah, Denver, Colorado. Waiting on the California Zephyr. Let me actually walk over here towards this sign. I'm not going to do a real long one. This is the wrap-up of my... I'm waiting on the California Zephyr. You can see it's supposed to start in San Francisco, California, but apparently somewhere between here and Salt Lake City, there's still 11 feet of snow. So it started in Salt Lake City today, and it's still 5 minutes or 15 minutes late getting here. So the lady here at the counter just told me to wait about 10 minutes to go out and then go to track 4. And it's about 50 degrees outside, but it's very cold, a cold 50 degrees. I am in the Denver Union Station. This is going to be a little segment to start my trip to Chicago and also wrap up my trip to my house sit in Denver. I have a walk and talk I'm going to add this to. So this will be the end of one video and the beginning of another. I have about a 19-hour train ride to get to Chicago tonight, or tomorrow, actually, overnight. I think I get there about 3 o'clock tomorrow. And I realized on the last one, as I got the train videos ready, and they should be up by the time you see this, but apparently they have sniffing dogs for Amtrak. Anyway, by the time you see this, they should be up, but I realized that the volume was kind of low. In fact, let me make sure my volume is up all the way.